Hi there, welcome back. How are you today? For most of my childhood, up until I was well into my 40s actually, I believed that my mum didn't love me. You know? I wonder so many times, if parents think, oh, but they know I love them. They know that. But do they? Do your children know that you love them? Maybe you thought you did the best you could. The funny realization that I got with time, one day I was observing how my sister was interacting with my parents, and how she was trying so hard to get them all to herself, like to get me excluded somehow. And she just wanted to be the only one that they were, which is now the case. They're only talking to her now. She's it. But she's worked so hard to get to that point. And it wasn't until, wouldn't be long ago, a few years ago, when I was observing this pattern. I remember I had come to visit Australia when I was 21. And when I went back, because I was only here for a year, I went back to South America, where we were living at the time. And my sister kept going on and on and on about how my parents were always talking about me, and all this stuff. And how proud they were of me, right? And all this. And she went on about it, and I couldn't understand, well, what's the problem? I wasn't even here. Why are you making me feel bad? I wasn't even here. And you're going on and on because I sent them a birthday card, or I sent them this, and that made such a fuss about it, And it wasn't until years later that I had the realization, when I woke up and I understood that, yes, my mum loved me. That was a belief I had, but it wasn't true. Yes, she loved me. I began to see how obvious it was that she did. It's just I couldn't understand it when I was growing up. All the signs were there of, yes, she did love me, but she didn't love me in a way that I understood, that felt like love to me. This was the problem for me. And with time, I realized the same had happened with my sister. All of that she was doing to try and get my parents all to herself and not share them with me was because she didn't know that my mum loved her. And yet all this time, I believed that my mum loved her and she didn't love me. All this time. But because my parents were always bragging about me and how proud they were of me and how well I did at school and, all this stuff, she thought my mum loved me better. I don't know how, but that's what's come out of it. I thought my mum loved her and didn't love me, and my sister thought my mum loved me more. I don't think she feels she doesn't love her. I don't know. We haven't had that conversation. But I got a feeling she thinks mum loves me more, or loved me more. Now that they're not talking to me, she probably thinks she's won. You know what I mean? Like, she's got them now all to herself, which is great for her. This is the experience they all came to have, and that's wonderful. I got to play my role, It's all good. But both of us, my sister and I, grew up all this time thinking mum doesn't love us, or she didn't love her as much as she loved me, that there was more love going to one than the other. And this, for a lot of children, for a lot of siblings, I think is a thorn in their side, that a sibling was loved more than them. That my sister was loved more than me. Or that she was loved and I was tossed aside, because that's how I felt. I didn't even feel that there was more than me. I felt like she got all the love and I got thrown aside. This is what, from the eyes of a 5-year-old, this is what it looked like to me. Oh, wow, okay, she doesn't want me anymore. She's got my sister now, this new baby. All the time and attention goes to this new baby, and I got my dad. That's it. I'm all alone in the world, She doesn't want me anymore. This was what I took away from my sister being born. But then I spent my whole life thinking my mum didn't love me. So for many parents out there, I would say maybe that's something to look into, because we seem to think we're doing a great job as parents, but do our children feel that way? Did they get the love? Did they receive that love in a way that they understood, yes, I am loved? you know? I mean, if not, don't beat yourself up, because that's the experience they came to have. That is the experience. That's the experience I came to have. I know that now, you know? But what we do as parents, what we say as parents, how it's interpreted by our children, that's on them. You know? So, today is really about looking at that relationship. If you are a parent, do you know in your heart 100% that your children know that you love them equally, all the same, no matter how different they were? Like me, this complete alien in this house. You know, that I just spoke different and everything I did was different. I was just so unique. Yeah, I mean, compared to everyone else, all my cousins, the kids at school, I was so different to everyone. In my thinking, in the way I expressed myself, in how I looked at the world, you know. So I felt like an alien in my house, like nobody understood what I was saying half of the time. So for a child like that, it may be difficult to express love in a way that they may understand, that they are loved. I know I was difficult, and I was meant to be. This was the experience they came to have as well, that they would have a child that they wouldn't know how to love because she's just so unusual, so different. I didn't like being cuddled. I didn't like being kissed. And to them, coming from a South American background, that's how they express love, cuddles and kisses. But even then, my mum is not cuddly, and she doesn't like being kissed a lot because she lost her parents at the age of 5. And from there, all she knew was being beaten by her aunt every time she did something wrong. She never received cuddles or kisses after that. Her parents were gone. So she already had that in her. And I came out exactly the same already as a little one. No, I don't want to be cuddled. I don't want to be held. I don't want to be kissed. Ew, you know, I'd wipe it off my face. These were the stories they would tell when I was little. If they'd want to hug me, and I'd be like, oh, you know, just get off me. Everyone's different. We're not all the same. We're not all cuddly. We're not all wanting to be kissed every 5 minutes to be reminded that we're loved or anything like that. That's not, for us, that's not love. That's like, you know, personal space. Personal space. You're invading my personal space. That's how I felt as a child. You know, and then my sister came and she was the opposite. She was like so clingy. My mum couldn't even go to the bathroom without my sister having to go in, follow her, and, you know, and like talk to her while she was in the toilet. She couldn't be 2 minutes without seeing where my mum was, you know. Oh, it was just, we were so opposite. But beautiful. You know, when you look at it, it's just all so beautiful. So, my beautiful beings, and for those of you like me that grew up, that thought that you weren't loved, is it possible that we misinterpreted, that the signs were there, they were showing their love, but we just didn't understand it? To us, that didn't look like love. You know, the moment I realized that I was loved, I was going through all these baby photos, all these photos of my childhood, and I was looking at the clothes that I was wearing and the shoes and my hair, how neat I was. You know, I looked so beautiful in all the photos. Parents that don't care don't go to that effort. They don't care how you look. You know, why would they care if you look beautiful or not? They don't care. They don't notice you. Little things like that. My mum expressed her, and I know this is a South American thing as well, she, and probably more also from Europe as well, she expressed her love with her cooking. That's how she cared for us, with her cooking. But I was this skinny little thing that didn't like eating. So for me, again, that wasn't an expression of love. It was like, ugh, I have to eat again. It just drains my energy. I don't want to eat, you know. And she'd always be like, come on, you need to eat some more. And I'd be like, I'm not hungry. That was it. You don't know how many times she took me to the doctor because she thought I was too skinny. I wasn't putting on weight. And the doctor was like, why do you want her to be fat? And she's like, I don't want her to be fat, but she doesn't eat. And he's like, well, she's obviously okay. You know, she's got energy. She's doing all the things she needs to do. What are you worried about? And my mum was like, but she's not eating. So all the things my mum was doing that was an expression of love to me was like, I don't want that. That's not love to me. You know, food is not love to me. I know you're feeding me, you're keeping me alive. That's a good thing. But going to all that effort to create this huge meal for me was like excess. There was too much of something that I just didn't need. I didn't want it. Yeah, I needed it physically, but you know, at the time I was just like tiny little thing. I didn't need that much food. So there's all these things we express ourselves in so many ways. You know, we express our love, but perhaps to others it's not obvious that this is love. You know, even when you say I love you, I love you, I love you, those 3 words, if the energy is not behind it, if there's not this energy of, you know, you are special to me, you are the most amazing thing, I'm so grateful to have you in my life. If it's not that energy coming from you, that you see them for who they are, not who you want them to be, not who you need them to be, but who they are. That's the greatest gift you can give anyone, to meet them where they are, without having to fix anything, without having to change anything. Just being grateful that they're in your life, being grateful for who they are. You know, for me, one of the things that stands out the most, you know, with my husband is just how funny he is. He cracks me up all the time. And my daughter. Oh my God, the 2 of them. And we also have the same sense of humor, you know. But that's one of my favorite things above all the other things. He has a generous heart. He's just such a beautiful person. There are so many things I love about him. And my favorite is that he makes me laugh so much. He's just so goofy, so silly. That's one of my favorite things. And that was one of my favorite things about my dad. How funny he is. How goofy he is. He loves doing pranks all the time, my dad. You know, all those little things, they were things that made me happy, you know. Or that make me happy, because my husband still does all those things. The stuff he comes up with, I don't even know how he comes up with it, but it's just really out there, but we get it, you know. We got the same sense of humor. So all those little things, you know, tell your people that you love them. Let them know what it is that's special about them, what makes them special to you. Tell them. Say it. You know, it's one thing to say I love you, but then to, why? Why do you love them? What makes them special to you? Why are they special? Why are they in your life? I know I tell my daughter the story all the time. You know, she came via IVF, and how many years we'd been waiting for her. How many years? Over 15 years. I'd been waiting for her. We couldn't wait for her to come and be with us. I tell her all the time that I'm so glad she's here. I'm so happy she's in my life and in my husband's life, because I see how much she's changed him as well. You know, there's something about having children that changes you. I don't know what it is. It's just a special relationship. But today, perhaps, listening to this, you'll know what this message is. It's guiding you to something, to someone perhaps. Who is that person today that needs to know that you love them? And perhaps, my beautiful beings, for many of you, it is you. It is yourself. You need to know that you love you. So many of us walk day by day, we go through our day. We don't even know. You know, we don't accept so many parts of ourselves. We don't approve of so many parts of ourselves. We judge all day long that this is bad, that this is wrong, that we shouldn't. Oh, that word shouldn't. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't be this. I shouldn't be that. All day long. When is it time to stop judging who you are and start accepting that this is who you are and that it's beautiful just as it is? It doesn't need to be anything else. You are perfect just as you are. Perhaps the love that you need to give today is to yourself. All right, my beautiful beings, but you'll know as you're listening to this message, if it's your children, if it's a partner, perhaps we've taken our partner for granted for too long, and it's time to give thanks to that being. It's time to be grateful that they're in your life. Show them. Express your love today in a way that they will understand. Ask them. If you don't know, ask them. What makes them feel loved? What do I need to do to make you feel loved? Even just asking that question, you're opening the door and they know. Ah, you're here for me. You're interested. You're seeing me for me. Not how you think you should love that person, but ask them how they need to be loved. You're seeing them for who they are, not for who you need them to be, not for who you want them to be, but for who they truly are. All right, my beautiful beings, love. Such a funny thing. I love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.